Story. For 20 years, Naseru Kiriambu has been living as a displaced person after she was displaced in 2005 in Mukutani, a place she has called home for her entire life. However, the displacement came with its own myriad of challenges due to lack of water, food and shelter, and with the heavy rains experienced in many parts of that particular place and in many parts of the country. And as Chichi Josephina reports, Naseru is among many members of the Pokot, Tugen and Ilchamus who are peacefully coexisting despite the changes.
After 11 people were killed, including her child, Naseru was forced to flee and reside in Marigat for 2 decades. But when peace returned, Naseru, together with over 500 others, displaced families opted to go back home to rebuild their lives afresh.
Sasa mimi nimekuja hapa, tuko pamoja na mandugu zangu na madada zangu, tuko hapa wote.
For 20 years, Naseru Kiriambu has been living a displaced person. In 2005, she was displaced in Mukutani, a place she has called home for her entire life.
Naomba tu serikali ya Kenya asaidie watu, sababu ni wengi, ni watu 520 na ako na maploti yao. Mtu tu arudi aende ploti yake ajenge huko na mtu aende kuendelea na shamba yake na maisha.
On arrival to Mukutani, they could hardly trace their home as the place was already forested, forcing them to set a new camp in Mukutani.
Sasa mimi naona changamoto wakati tulikuja hapa, mvua ni mingi na hakuna manyumba.
Sasa mimi sina hema, sina kwa mahali natoka na bado pata kwa hapa. Bado tunakaa namna hiyo, kwa vile mimi nasikia kwa roho yangu eri niende mshanga ya kwetu.
Here they named the area New Jerusalem as they began the process of rebuilding back their lives from the camps.
Penda serikali asaidie sisi sote, kwa vile sasa anaona hii watu anatenda kwao na hii watu ako na imani na kwao. Asaidie sisi chakula na hiyo mahema.
However, the displacement came with its own myriad of challenges, among them being lack of water, food and shelter, and with heavy rains experienced in many parts of the country, complicating the situation. Young children suffer from cold and malaria.
Malaria imetusumbua hapa. Na hakuna hospitali karibu.
Sasa mimi nalala tu chini ya hii miti. Chakula yangu ile kidogo napata, nalala tu hapa. Mimi asubuhi naamka na wakisa moto yangu kama niko na kitu na napika chai yangu na kula.
The Pokot, Tugen and Ilchamus communities have embraced peace and forged to peacefully coexist. However, rebuilding back their lives becomes the worst challenge.
Pokot, the Ilchamus, the Tugen are living together. There's no hostility. This shows that these people want to live together. They want to start their life the way they used to live together. They want to embrace each other. And that is the only way we will have peace and continue maintaining the peace that is there.
They say that over 500 families have no sustainable source of income and called for collaborative efforts of people of goodwill to give back dignity to families who have suffered 2 decades of banditry.
I appeal to all well-wishers to come to us and help us resettle these people by providing or helping us build them houses where they can live as they restarted their livelihood.
Baringo South Member of Parliament Charles Cameron called on the Ministry of Special Programs to set aside budget allocation to victims of banditry who are now returning home.
Na tunasema kama Baringo Kusini, mukora yeyote serikali wachukua hatua, washike, wafanyie kazi yao kisheria. Mukora ni mukora, haina community, haina kabila, mukora ni mukora.
Mukutani, which is the new sub-county headquarters in Baringo South, had been a disputed border between 2 communities for decades of conflict leading to loss of lives and no developments. Chichi Josephine, TV 47.